Greetings! It is Friday afternoon, presumably. I think that's where we are. I don't know, I'm lost. I'm lost forever. Amongst all the things. I've been having some things acting up today, so we'll see how we're doing. Slightly tiny bit under the weather, but I'm going to try to continue playing this for a bit and see what happens, and we shall see how we are doing. Just had some minor episode yesterday, so with the various vague medical things that are going on, and we're sorting it out, so hopefully things will happen. Greetings, all those lurkers and otherwise who are here. I need to actually move the thing over here so that I can actually see people when they are shouting at me. Yay! Okay, there it is. Better. Okay. All right. What are we doing? We're playing a game. Let's try that. Talk to your companions frequently. They can yield interesting ideas or a new perspective or an objective, and you can learn more about them and their backstories. It's true. You can. What I'm really interested in learning now is what we're doing. Oh yes, that's right. We did a silly thing just before we left last time. We were looking at possibly trying to recruit this dude, and in so doing, we spent like a crap load of speed, and it's just one of those things that I have to wonder how much is going to have to be dumped into that to get that to work. I don't think we're going to be able to get him to come with us. So, at least not right now. Let's take a look at what we have here, because I'm going to need to get some speed back. Am I currently under an effect, or is there... That's weird. Okay. No, it's just decoration. Okay. Oh, these are the tides. These are the tides. I understand now. Alright. Yeah. Doing some kind of kata. He insisted on fighting to the death, which was weird. We didn't do that, but it is a thing where he's only going to fight to the death. Do I have speed drugs? I have a few speed drugs, a little bit. Okay, we're going to use the speed drugs. And we're going to choose ourself, if we can. So that I can be slightly better than before. Okay, and we'll go from there. Evidently, it's vitally important to cry out before you, when you use the speed drugs. Oh, they expect you to be doing it in combat. I expect that's what's going on. I've forgotten what we were doing with these triangles. Oh, right. Yes. I think we're done with the triangles. Okay. So all that being the case...
Yes.
Let's see what we're doing here, trying to dive through this place, continue our explorations. Insulting truths free of charge. Yes. Plenty of those available. Alright. So, here's that nest of eggs we can't get to. I know there seems to be, there's this bridge, right? And so there's, I haven't been able to figure out how to get across yet. Alright. We just go directly to the underbelly. I think that's what we're going to do at this point. I think that may be what we have left here, because in our various quests, Because we got the recruitment in the tavern. And we have... We're looking for those. We've got one more left. Looking for a book. Looking for the adversary, which I can't freaking figure out because we just went through everybody. And unless it's one of their own people in secret, it's not going to happen. So I think there are more things we're going to end up having to do there to make that work. Hidden enemy. Well, you know, go look for more Stickuses. Airship thief. Settle the debt. Oh, that's right. Getting stuff from the city authorities. Well, I think we talked to the clerk. But we need the backing of someone influential. And... yeah, I mean, there's a possibility there we could blackmail dude into doing it. Let's see. Enter the anechoic lazaret. Oh yes, that's right. There's possibly things to fight in there. That's the only thing. It's the only reason I'm a little worried about going in there. It's just due to that. But, you know, maybe we should go ahead and do that. Because it's either that or we go down to Underbelly. Which we haven't done yet. It's an entire area to explore. Let's go down. I think we've put off going down to Underbelly long enough. We shall see how this goes. Sure, you can take a kid down into the Underbelly. That'll be fine. According to records kept by Caspian and Mimi, the changing god rarely remains in a body for more than a decade or two before moving on. Oh, I'm scared of this place already. We need to leave. Alright, I'm going to save. I'm just going to save it as Underbelly, and there we go. Alright, there's a pauper. Let's see if he tries to kill us, or she tries to kill us. Or they try to kill us. No, they're just laughing. Okay, they're definitely going to try to kill us. Anybody want some meat? Meatmonger.
Alright, here I go.
Let's speak to the monger of meat. A short, solid man stands behind a smoking grill, turning pieces of meat with a pair of grimy tongs. Grimy tongs. Sweat is pouring down his grizzled face, yet he's covered head to toe in grease-spattered clothes. His sleeves are tight at the wrists, and his collar pinches his neck. Nearby are 3 large vats that are filled with living meat. Living meat. Great amorphous... Okay, I'm just going to call out a content warning for the entirety of the Underbelly, because I have a feeling there's going to be rather a lot of that here. Great amorphous masses of it, with appendages growing from them like the limbs of animals drowning in a meat swamp. Yep. Content warning is definitely in effect. Is that person headless? I thought the headless person just walked by. That's slightly disturbing. The first vat is filled with thick, throbbing muscles, red and raw. The second is a flapping monstrosity of leathery wings, and the third sprouts hundreds of lac tails, all wiggling obscenely. The cook looks up from his work and gives you a sweaty smile. Hey, I'm Mook, depending on which part of the continent you're from. I don't know. We're going to say Moik. I'm Moik the meatmonger. What do you have? What kind of meat do you sell? He laughs and bangs the grill with his tongs, making sizzling grease fly. 3 kinds, friend. Anine, Drebble, and Lac. Okay. Right in those vats, actually. Want some? I'd like to buy some meat. I do not want to buy meat. I'm looking for a jack named Makina. He nods. Know her well. Buys from me all the time. Haven't seen her in a while, though. I might ask Mapper over there by the shanties, so he'll be the one with the maps on his skin. Keeps track of everybody. Alright. I've never seen meat grown in a vat before. How does it work? How? He shrugs. Couldn't tell you. I found a little doodad back when I was a butcher. And I'd fiddle with it all day long, kinda like I do now with my tongs. He waves the tongs around to show you what he means. So one day I was fiddling with this thing while cutting up a carcass, and it kept growing back its missing parts. Cut the tail off. There it was again, a moment later. Crazy, right? But it gave me an idea. I could open a little griddle with no overhead. And it worked. Been cooking the same 3 hunks of flesh for years now, he beams. Only in a setting like this do you have incredibly weird crap like this happening, and people's first thought is, I can make money off of this. Instead of, oh god, what is it? Well, maybe that is the first thought, and then it naturally transitions. Hello. Yes, I have no idea how notices work, but thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. But yeah, so all I know is that the Twitch fairies carry them out to different people through the Dreamlands, and when their brain is in the place that they require it, that's when the message appears. But I don't know anything other than that. It's like it's a puzzle. How do you use your doodad? How can you use your doodad on yourself? What? Okay, that's a good question. Funny, you should ask. Not long after I found it, I cut myself pretty good. Thought I'd try using my doodad to close up the wound. He grimaces. Well, it worked, but then I started growing toes all over my body. Didn't care for that at all, so I never did it again. Still trying to get rid of the toes. Oh, God. Yep. That's about what we were thinking. Did you say you have toes growing all over your body? Hey, we all got our problems, and I got it better than most around here. Ain't my fault anyway. Well, I guess it's a little bit my fault. Oh, good Lord. Ah! I mean, this answers this question, but sure, we'll ask it. Why are you bundled up like that? On account of the toes! It's all bundled up on account of the toes. Nobody wants to see a man with toes growing all over his body, especially if he's cooking their food. Not even people in the Underbelly got strong enough stomachs for that. Oh, man, I'm just imagining... My apologies again, before I say this. This guy could be subject to full-body athlete's foot. This is not good. Oh, jeez. This is terrifying. And of course, now we're going to say I'd like to buy some meat. I wouldn't. I'm just curious. I'll try a leek tail. That'll be 2 shins. Never mind. I don't want a leek tail. Because of course he was going to ask for money. I just was curious what he had. I mean, he told us, but at the same time... See, that person without a head is walking around again. I'm curious. You appear to have a problem. I'm just curious. You have what seems to be a medical condition, and I just wanted to know if you... No, okay. Just going to keep walking. Well, to be fair, he probably can't see us. Let's see. Yeah, this is horrifying. But... we are in the Underbelly. The vat is filled with wriggling reptilian tails, knotted and tangled together. That's so delightful. Manufactory worker. Let's find out what that is. Let's get away from the meat and find out. Go bother someone else. Okay. This is delightful. Child. Talk to the child. Do you see the blood over there? Someone must have killed 100 people. Okay, let's check that out. What's the Jagged Dream? Those 2 weird people keep talking about it. I'm not sure. I might have heard about it, but I can't remember. Mapper's really good at finding stuff. Thank you, random NPC, for all of this information. The meat monger smells like feet. I can't imagine why that's the case. You gonna talk to us? Muke's no meat monger. He's an artist. Yep. Meat artist. Paranoid man, paranoid woman. Don't mind if I don't. Yeah, okay, great. Mapper. Let's talk to the paranoid people because I need to. I see things, you know. I have special eyes. You know too, don't you? You smell the corruption. Yes, the Jagged Dream is down here too. I need to find out more about this Jagged Dream. Do you see them too? Do you see the hooded strangers? The nameless servants of the council? The Jagged Dream won't rest until Sagus is drowning in blood. Yeah. Weedle is only the first. Mark my words. He's not the only one I've seen with a hooded shadow. Someone killed Folsom's apprentice. I told them war was coming and they laughed. Can we get a... Can I buy a context? Will that be helpful here? I think they're levies. They have to be. Levies gone wrong. They want us doubting each other and starting fights. They smirk behind their sleeves when we die. Okay. I think that we're good. Let's talk to Mapper here. Actually, shall we? No, let's talk. Let's talk. From a distance, it looks as if this mutant is wearing a form-fitting suit of finely patterned lines in white, yellow, and pale blue. On closer examination, it becomes apparent that these are tattoos, and they cover nearly the entirety of his body, even his shaved head. His actual clothes are simple and worn, and his boots look as though they've seen hard use. He is... Thank you for the subscribe. Much appreciated. We're still building stuff, but we got more stuff coming. He is studying the meaningless whorls on his arms and mouthing names that mean nothing to you. Solvi, Balint, Urgau, Tentries. When he looks up at you, you see that a strange device covers one of his eyes. A deep blue light shines in its center, and it seems to measure and evaluate you as he focuses on you. He smiles as you approach, a broad, beaming grin that says he considers you a friend already. Okay. I'm Mapper, he says, extending his hand to scan thoughts. A new face! New faces mean new places. Ah, does he collect places? That's interesting. I've been everywhere around here. I found my way into places long sealed and best forgotten. Met all sorts of people. He frowns. Can't say I cared much for most of them, it's true. His voice is fast, insistent, and incisive. Still, I try. The communities of our world are islands of light. Sometimes they wink out, sometimes they flare up. I want to link them together. I want to be a bridge. Okay. I'm too curious. You say you want to be a bridge? How do you even do that? He shrugs, a faint smile on his lips. I travel, I see places. I map them out on my skin, and maybe inside me, I don't know. I mean, the lines change when I look, and they've got to be stored someplace, right? He scratches his bald head. The lines flow under his fingers. I need to collect places. I need to know that I've done something. Making maps is all I know. It's all I want to know. Right, here's a map. Looking for a woman named Matkina. Do you know where I can find that? Oh, here we go. Matkina, the White Death! I've heard of her. I know where she hides, too. He grins wide, exposing a mouthful of extraordinarily white and clean teeth. Sorcery! I can tell you where she is, but I'd hate to say it comes with a price. Much as I love to talk about my travels, I need to finish a patch of my Sagus Cliffs map, and I need bragging rights for the next time I see the navigators, he shrugs. Also, she might not be happy I've told. That's okay, you can trust us. But I might be able to help you find it, for a trade, of course. He drops his voice. Have you ever heard of the Changing God? No, never heard of him. Savior of Sagus Cliffs in time past and so forth. They say he had a sanctuary under the city, a place he used to retreat to and plan for the future, while they thought on his past, you know, making possibility maps. That sanctuary is the one important place I haven't seen in Sagus Cliffs, and I need to fill in my map. Of course you do. As far as I can tell, it's not far past the Stickle Lair. Oh, you know where the Stickle Lair is? Can we get there? The problem I'm having is that I just can't make any sense of their language. Maybe you can talk to them. He shrugs disarmingly. It's a hell of a price, I know, but there it is. You want to find Matkina? You'll find the sanctuary for me. So, about that. I shall need to scavenge the sanctuary first. To deal with the things in my head. I'm not doing any favors for you. Why don't you look for the sanctuary yourself? The skiss-sucking sticker, that's why. They got their precious eggs in their lair and they won't let me in. It's not like I've got any interest in the eggs, but I got no patience for dealing with their clicks and rumbles. I just want to know, got me? You understand? Is there some way into the sanctuary besides the stickle lair? That's a question. He sighs, exasperated. There must be. Changing God wasn't the kind of person you just put one entrance into the place. I haven't been able to find the back door for the life of me. Oh, great. We're going to have to see if we can remember where it is. That'll be fun. Walking people. I keep forgetting I can't click on other people while I'm in the middle of a conversation. I'm not doing any favors for you. Can I ask something else? I want to ask something else. Alright, he started to return to his examination of his tattoos. He responds absently. Go ahead. Where did you get all those tattoos? There we go. These? They're not tattoos. They're maps. He exposes a shiny grin. Maps of places I've been or heard of. He covers the artificial eye with his hand and says, if I look at my skin like this, it's meaningless. Then he uncovers it and says, but look at it like this. Suddenly, I see the map. Springing up off my skin. I focus on it. It all comes clear. Buildings, people, smells, even a route to get there. Even a route to get there. Okay. Interesting. Let us check on a thing. And that thing has been now checked on. And now we shall return to the to the land of humanity. Where am I? I'm over here. There I am. There we go. Okay. All right. So, sorry, got slightly distracted there. I'm back. Just things are happening over here. Okay, good. We're back. Suddenly I see the map springing up off my skin. Good. It's worthless to anyone else, of course. Without me to interpret the map, it's a combination of my mutation in the lens. Finding the eyepiece was the best part of being born like this. He sighs contentedly. It made me feel like my life made sense at last, and that, my friend, is far more like than anyone deserves. Finding the eyepiece. Interesting. Okay. Alright, I think... Where have you been? There we go. He laughs. It's probably easier to ask where I haven't been. All over the Sagus Protectorate. The oasis of Maragolios, Valley of Dead Heroes, Colne Village, the ruins of Archipelagia, and all around the Black Cube. All around the Black Cube, eh? Tower of Birds, where Third Loss fell, even up past the Clock of Kala to Vrak. You mentioned the Clock of Kala, everyone! Because we all know I'm obsessed with the Clock of Kala. As he speaks, the lines of his body shift and move, coming into prominence with the words. This is a fun game. It's very much, if for anyone wondering, if you like a lot of reading, which I do, I started off with text adventures, then this could be the thing for you. Also, I've managed thus far to get through a significant portion of this without fighting anybody. I think fights have been available, but not so much. You can pretty much just interact with folks and figure stuff out. Alright. Every place was a treat, an experience. Did you know most people never go more than 50 kilometers from the village of their birth, if that? I've been tremendously lucky, my friend. He smiles down at his maps. Then he looks back at you and says more quietly, if you plan to travel, I'd avoid the grasslands, though. The birds will take your meat for their meals, and your bones for their nests. Okay. Good to know. Alright, I think that will give us... We have sucked that NPC dry of dialogue for the time being. And we shall save the game again. Okay. Let's see how much of a map we have right now. Okay. Alright. So they're a stick up there. We'll come to them in a bit. Okay, let's keep going this way. Wander around down here, see what's around. Thugs! Wholesome. Things to examine. Ah, there's a crime scene over there. That's where the blood is. Okay. Keep your distance, plotter. You're out your turret, Tiny. I know. This man towers over you, enormously fat and draped in gaudy robes. His expression is calm, stern even, as he regards the bloody mess spread across the floor and wall. The hooded figures on either side of him tense as you approach. He turns to inspect you, eyebrow lifted, and raises his hand. His bodyguards relax, watching you. In the space of a second, his eyes flicker over you. He nods, apparently to himself, as if your presence has confirmed something he expected. One of the Castoff godlings. That explains the missing pieces. Ah! He knows. We must kill him. What are you doing in the Underbelly, Falling Star? I'm sorry, all people described this way in my head immediately become Sydney Greenstreet. Who are you? The people of the Underbelly struggle, he says after a long pause. They live and die in the dark. Their sorrows do not reach the ears of those who live in the light. The reflection of your face is pale in his dark eyes, and so I speak for them before the mighty, protect them from the predators that see them as easy prey, and he pauses, pressing his lips together. I avenge them when I fail. He folds his arms. Now answer my question. Why are you here? I am looking for someone. Are you? He says. I know everyone in the Underbelly, and I am seeking someone as well. Perhaps we can help each other.
Making a note.
Another quest. We got the quest. He turns his back on you, staring down at the vast pool of blood. That is all that remains of Weedle, one of my protégés. I had hopes for him. Now they will never be realized. The Underbelly is poorer without him. The rage beneath his voice cuts each word shorter and shorter. Bring me any information you find. Help me discover the identity of his killer, and you will be rewarded. He exhales sharply, then turns around. The fury you glimpsed in him is buried once more.
Making a note.
There is an assassin named Matkina, he says. Doe! Problems! She is known as the White Death. I've helped her find work in the past, but she has become erratic. If she is not involved, she might know who is. If you wish to help in this matter, ask her what she knows. The creature named Mapper may know where she is. I'm not promising anything. I think saying this to this individual would not be the wisest thing right now. I will observe your investigation with great interest. Any ideas about the killer's motive? I have suspicions, he says, a muscle on his cheek twitching. And I have enemies. It takes no imagination to conclude that this was meant to hurt me. He shakes his head. But the killer did not slit Weedle's throat and leave him for me to find, no. They spilled an ocean of his blood and scrawled nonsense on the walls. If this is a message for me, I cannot interpret it. It suggests the killer is crazy, but which of my enemies are insane. I so enjoy reading people's thoughts. Let's see. Do you know a mutant boy named Pico?
Updated my journal.
Yes, he says. He and little Keek, the fisherwoman, are from the same tribe. The young man left after I failed to find his father's murderer. He lowers his head. Take care. All right. Yes, thank you for stopping by. I much appreciate it. And I am now going to stare back into the abyss as I try to figure out what I'm doing. There I am. Let me check one more thing. Hang on, checking the abyss for... I'm checking the abyss for updates. Hold on. There we go. Okay, we're good. The abyss has been updated. It takes a while to update the abyss. It's very important. Okay. We're going to close that. And then we're going to come back over here. We're good. He lowers his head, casting his face in shadow. If you are speaking with the boy, I am certain Keek would love to hear if he is well. They were childhood friends. And all I have is... Actually, never mind. Very well. Do you have any other questions for me? Do you live in the Underbelly? Foolish question, but... Not quite. He smiles like he's paying for it by the millimeter. I rarely sleep, so I need no bed of my own, but I have spent most of my life here in these tunnels and grottos. It is a good place, cruel and unforgiving, but good. His slow gaze sweeps over the underbelly. Sagus foolishly sends its undesirables here as if it is worthless. But the underbelly is a place of hidden treasures, wise machines, and kind mutants. If I had a home here, I would not regret it. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and ask that just because for the same tribe and we're childhood friends, okay. Folsom seems like a strange name to you. Yes, the big man says. The name was a gift and somewhat of a witticism from my departed mentor many years ago. Before long, the name was the only one I was known by. A true gift in light of the unfortunate nature of my given name. A true gift in light of that. Yeah. Alright, I want to examine the murder scene behind you. At first, Folsom doesn't respond. He merely stares down at you, through you. I will not have you trample through his blood without cause, he says at last. So there had better be one. I don't need your help that badly, godling. Yeah. I know you're grieving for your protege. All I want is to catch his killer. He's beyond carrying sympathy. The murderer may have left behind evidence. I won't know unless you let me look. I think that's the thing that makes the most sense. He casts a doubtful glance behind him, pauses, then nods. And my blue tide went up because I crave information more than anything else. Let him pass when he is ready, he tells the hooded figures at his side. They incline their heads. Oh, okay. Alright. Yeah, alright. Yes, now let's trample all over the murder scene.
Of course.
Yep, there we go. Trample, trample, trample. Not much remains of Folsom's former protege beyond a vast, still pool of blood with a skinned hand at its center. I did say, by the way, content warning for all of the Underbelly. Just thought I'd refresh that. I didn't know there would need to be a content warning, but I suspected. Okay. Let's inspect the hand in the pool of blood. A flayed hand with long, slender fingers lies palm up in the center of the pool of blood. The rest of the victim is missing. I mean, with that amount of blood, they probably are not still living, but it's a thought. The rest of the body is hidden somewhere for this dude to find, perhaps.
I'll remember that.
Inspect the hand. Yeah, okay. Let's examine the circle. Ah, we got XP. Anamnesis. Your hand reaches toward the streaks and bubbles of blood of its own accord, and an iron spike drives through your temples. That's not good. You stand before a blank wall. Sickening purple-black light spills around the corner behind you. This is your temple, and you have been driven into a dead end by her. Blood seeps through the wall from the other side, drawing the familiar shape. Frightened, confused, you trace the line, and a gate opens with a wet crunch. Oh, hey. The vision collapses, but the memories are not done with you yet, it seems. Another bulges painfully through your thoughts, closing around you. That looks like it's gonna hurt. Let's experience it, shall we? Fresh blood streams over the circle, yanking you through the hollow at its center into the world beyond. A strip of blistered land coils through a void as black as a gaping mouth. The air is thick, foul, and textured with the slickness of maggots. Nausea slams into you, filling your head, infecting your thoughts. And through it all you sense a mind in that fathomless darkness spilling towards yours, seeking, tasting, joyful, hungry. Oh, that isn't good. You shove the horrific memory away from you, slamming your mind shut like a door and swallowing the knot of nausea in your throat. After seeing that world, the bloody pool at your feet seems almost mundane. And we took damage, because of course we did. Oh, let's look at it again! You study the dashes and bleeding pinpricks decorating, binding the circle. They aren't symbols in any known human tongue, but you sense their purpose. The circle was almost inconsequential. These sigils gripped the shape of it and pushed it through time and space. This was, however briefly, a trans-dimensional portal to another place. Now it is dead. That would explain why only the hand of the victim is there now. Perhaps. Before you can look away from the circle, a memory bulges painfully through your same memory? Through your thoughts, and the memory isn't yours. Let's find out if it's the same memory. Same memory. Okay. Well, we got more XP, apparently. As we took more damage. Yes! Health for XP! I have found an exploit! Let's not do that again. But if we want bottomless XP at the cost of health. Oh dear. Dear, dear, dear. Okay. That felt great. I'm gonna save the game again. Murder. Okay, clearing out the lung demons. Alright. New insights. If this murder was intended to hurt me, it has succeeded. To hurt me, it was succeeded. If it was meant to send a message, it failed. Alright. I don't think so. I think this was a snatching grab that went horribly awry. Possibly.
Here I go.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Varanoth. This large and heavily muscled woman wears what appears to be rags that should have fallen apart ages ago. She looks so tired that it wouldn't be a surprise if she fell asleep on her feet, and yet when she opens her mouth, her voice is energetic. Like a little girl who's about to get a present. Hello, can anyone hear what I'm saying? I can't make this work. Without warning, she slaps herself. I hope no one saw that. Oddly, no thoughts at all come from this woman. At least you think she has none. You think she has none. There's a faint whispering at the edge of your hearing, but you can't make out any words. She's operating it by remote? Who are you? Are you talking to me? Her head swivels awkwardly around, trying to catch a glimpse of you. Oh, you are! My name is... My name is Varanoth, Champion of the Wastes. The woman flinches at the sound of the very different booming voice that came from her own mouth. That's not my name, you stupid thing. It's Varanoth, Champion of the Wastes. Damn, I come from a land you've never heard of. Damn it. I guess I'm not allowed to say. So you aren't Varanoth, Champion of the Wastes? You're controlling a construct, aren't you? That's not a real body. Ah, don't be ridiculous, the other woman shouts. You've got it, the girl says a second later. It keeps yelling over me if I talk about something I'm not supposed to, she says, lowering her voice. But maybe if I speak carefully. Her chin drops to her chest. My family explores the world using special tools. The body stabs itself with its finger pointedly. But they tell me I'm too young to help. So I waited until everyone was sleeping and, you know, the head lolls back on its neck, winking at the roof of the cavern. Are you an explorer too? Yes, just like you. The body gets easier to control after a while. I mean, it's not entirely a lie. I am, but not like you. Oh, she says. For some reason I thought you were a champion of the wastes, too. Damn, did it again, didn't it? Just don't tell anyone what I am, alright? What can that construct do? Well, it's really hard to break. My mother, that's who usually controls it, once got stepped on by an adult earthshaker. It just stuck her in the ground like a nail. The woman flexes a massive bicep. Am I flexing? The girl says. I'm trying to flex. Anyway, it's also incredibly strong. Punch holes in mountains strong. The arm flops back to her hip. It's not really a construct. There's no metal inside. She has blood, bones, perfect human expressions. Not that you can tell that from how I do it, the girl adds sourly. The woman's face grimaces along with her. Why do you people explore? Our impenetrable fortress in a lost valley is falling apart. I think we should just go out into the world for real, but no, my family is afraid. The fingers on the woman's right hand wiggle like they're playing an instrument. Her dead expression doesn't change even as the girl's voice rises. I'm not, of course, but they won't even let me use this thing. I have to sneak around like a child. Where did you get the construct? I was born in a storm on a battlefield at night, the woman roars. Huh, the girl says after a respectful silence. She really doesn't want me to tell you what I just tried to tell you. Can you tell me anything about where you got this construct? Seeds, the girl blurts. Oh, she let me say it, but I probably won't get away with more. Sorry. Seeds? You grow them? Okay. I wonder if she'll say the same thing. Yep, okay. Farewell. Okay, yeah. We'll figure out what's going on with you later. I'm just curious what's down this way. It won't let me see. A flight of stone steps descends into the water. The cavern beyond gradually widens and connects to the sea. Okay, cool.
You got it.
So many people. Leave me be. Okay.
All right.
Oh, there's Keek. And there's a thing fishing. Let us save before we continue this speech. This speaking to people. Thing. Place. Thing. Place. People. Hang on. Hopefully folks can hear me now. A small hollow-cheeked mutant sings a soft, wavering tune to herself. Yellow bruises discolor her skin, wounds formed not from violence but from malnutrition, and her prominent bones bend and twist at odd angles. Still she smiles. She smiles at the oily water, devoid of any fish. She smiles as she arranges her empty basket beside her, and she smiles at you when she sees you standing over her. I get the feeling she has no choice but to smile. Hello, I'm Crooked Keek of the Gold Canyon tribe. I haven't seen you down here before. I hope you're not here to fish. They're nibbling instead of biting today. She coughs into her cupped hands, a raw and ragged hacking that bends her double. You take her for a child at first, but after studying her features, it's clear she's in her late teens. It's only some mutation and her bony stature born of starvation that makes her seem childlike. Your real name is Crooked Keek? Sort of. My parents called me Keek, but the nickname came later. She hunches over, her eyes darting shadily from side to side. It's because I sell junk for high prices and bribe the levies to carry people off in the night. She laughs. Not really. People call me Crooked because I look twisted and broken. I wish they wouldn't, but it's okay. I am crooked, right? Yeah, sure. Oh, they should not. You're part of the Cold Canyon tribe. Are they down here too? No, she says lightly. They're all gone, either dead or gone. She still isn't meeting your eyes. There used to be a lot of us. We came here when I was a baby, running from... She pauses, thinking, a war, some sort of war that never ends. Oh, yeah, the endless battle. My parents thought we would be safe here, but the tribe died off one by one. She turns away, wiping her eyes. The city is hard on people like us. I met an old friend of yours named Pico.
I'll remember that.
You did? Pico's alive? She seizes your arm with cold, frail hands. Is he doing okay? Is he happy? She seems to see the truth in your expression and sighs. He left after someone killed his father and he couldn't get the levies to investigate. I don't really blame him, but I wish he'd come back. I miss him. She releases your arm and you see that her hands are trembling. I'll tell Pico you said hello. Could you? And maybe, could you ask him to visit when he can? I miss him a lot. She coughs on the back of her shaking hand. How was the city hard on your tribe? They were used to living in the wilderness, so they knew what they could eat safely. Here it's not so simple. My mother told me that 10 people died eating tainted food before we found this fishing hole. She stares into the murky water. And there's the diseases you can catch in the city and the hate. A lot of us were killed just for being hard to look at, I guess. No, it's not good. It is not good to do that. These are things that they cannot help. Is it as hard for you to survive here as it was for your people? No, she says, smiling. I don't have a lot to eat, but I'm more resistant to sickness than my parents were, and people here know me. They leave me alone. You said everyone in your tribe is dead? Not everyone, she says with a brave little smile. I'm here, and some of us just left for better places. I bet they're doing really well. Don't you mind that people call you crooked? Not really. I can't call them liars, can I? She smiles, but it's not the radiant thing you saw before. Of course it wasn't. Do you know where I might find a woman named Matkina? Matkina, she gasps. That's not what people call her. She leans toward you, eyes as round as coins. They call her the White Death, she says. She's an assassin. I don't know where she is, and I hope I never do. Why are you scared of Matkina? They say, she begins, then drops her voice to a whisper. They say she can freeze your blood by speaking your name. And if you look her in the eyes, all of your hair will turn white. Well, there might be a way to do that. She has Numenera that do it. And she's an assassin, apparently, so that, that also helps, I think. Sure you don't mind? People, I do, she admits softly. But I won't be less crooked if they stop. I don't know. I mean, it's really a question. Most disabled folks who are disabled in some way or consider themselves. I mean, it varies, right? So, I mean, everybody's different, but they're I don't know. Just the desire to find something other than self is a theme here I'm seeing with these characters, and I'm just wondering if we'll hear anything from the I'm doing okay camp or not. I don't know. Why do you think the fish aren't biting? The fish down here are pretty fast and smart. They're nibbling at the bait, then swimming away. She watches the line with a combination of hunger and weariness. It's hard for me to get to the pole in time when the rod twitches. It's harder to reel in the catch. I'm not very strong. Ah. Can I try fishing with your gear? You're welcome to it, she says. Only if you do find something, could you share? She trails off, blushing. Never mind. Company is better than a scrawny fish. Oh. This poor girl. Okay, those are all the questions. Come back anytime. A flight of stone steps in the water. Right, okay, we saw that. Same thing. Okay. We're going to try doing a little fishing.
Yes.
Yes. Fishery. The thin, glowing thread pierces the surface of the water and plunges deep into the black depths like a white line drawn in shining ink. Ninth World fishing pole. Okay, examine the line. You try flicking the shining string and your finger goes right through it. Could you try catching something for me? I've had no luck today. Besides, everything down there is pretty much stronger than me. We will try catching something. Here's the headless person again. You pull on the line and something in the dark below pulls back. You press your lips together and reel in your catch. A muddy cipher dangles from the end of the line. It's beautiful, Crooked Keek breathes. I was just hoping for fish. I can sell it and eat for weeks. I am keeping it. No, I can't. I can't do that. I'm going to give it to her. You pass the cipher to her and she squinches her eyes shut in unmitigated joy. Thank you. Use my fishing pole whenever you want. Gold tide raised. Because I was soft and weak. Now, let's tug on the line. Take hold of the fishing rod, begin reeling in the line. But nothing's on the hook. You might have better luck tomorrow. No, no, we must keep going. There is no tomorrow. Not in this game, there isn't. Alright, we're going to leave it alone. Okay. Huh. Well, let's see. There's another cultist here. Here, I'm going to save the game one more time. And by one more time, I mean many more times. Let's feel better about ourselves. Let's feel better about ourselves by talking to a cultist. The cultist glances over at you casually. His eyes widen when they reach your face. I heard you intended to explore the city, but never imagined you'd find your way down here. What an honor. Yep. He folds his hands before him. How can I help you, beloved vessel? Let's examine the cultist. The man is pale, dirty, and nervous. He is stealing glances at your tattoo every chance he gets. He flinches when he notices you studying him. Never have I seen it so close. What have I done to earn this blessing? Examine him again. He fidgets, scratching his oily nose. I'm helping Folsom discover who killed his protege. Have you seen anything? I haven't, he says, his brow creased with regret. But I will absolutely tell you if I do. Looking for a woman named Vakina. Have you seen her? Castoff? Not recently, he says. But she does work with Folsom from time to time. He may know where she is. Yes, thank you. Apparently we were supposed to talk to you first. That's okay. We're done. You as well, beloved vessel. What is this? A dark sphere inhabits almost every socket in this obelisk that stretches toward the cavernous ceiling. No one else seems to be paying the odd structure any attention. Like most Numenera, it's simply here, and if it can't be used, it's treated as part of the scenery. The orbs gleam in the dim light. You lean toward them. Are they glass? Jewels? Eyes? Yes, we must touch it.
Ready to learn something?
Your finger barely grazes the glass before it displays the image of a furred creature touching the surface from the other side. Purple vines threaded with veins of light. Oh. Hello, Conti. How are you doing? Purple vines threaded with veins of light hang from the branches of the trees behind it. You lift your fingertip and darkness swallows the creature. The orb is opaque once more. The orbs appear to reflect whatever action is performed in front of them. That's interesting. As we type just a bit. Let's see. Finger barely goes. Furred creature touching the surface from the other side. That's weird. Tell the orb a secret. That's interesting. Hum a little song. Make a rude gesture at the structure. Touch the nearest sphere again. Red tide. Nothing appears in any of the dark orbs. Instead, the whisper of many voices joined in song curls from the obelisk so low that only you can hear it. Furred creature you saw before touches the orb again, bewildered. make a rude gesture at it. No, that's red tide again. You make the most obscene gesture you can think of at the glass. A young woman with rainbow pupils appears in the glass, flicking her fingertip across her chin. She nods, grinning as if imagining your shock at her daring. Okay. What did that mean? What did any of that mean? I don't know. Make an even ruder gesture at the structure. We'll try telling the orb a secret. With your lips nearly brushing the surface, you whisper a thought you'd never told anyone. A too tall, narrow-hipped being, a visitant, appears in the glass, long fingers clasped. Meeting your eyes, it speaks words you cannot hear.
I'm starting to figure this weird place out.
You can, however, sense its thoughts. They tickle an odd part of your mind. Dizziness overcomes you. You suddenly know that the visitant speaks stolen words, and that blood was spilled to take them. Even though the cause was just, the visitant is deeply ashamed. It fades into the black of the orb, lowering its head. I wonder if these are previous vessels. Interesting. And I'm wondering if the stolen words are at all connected to the. Well, no, those weren't words per se. There was a thing from one of the people in the bar had a thing trapped in their head. Okay, we're gonna make a ruder gesture. The rainbow-eyed woman rewards your gesture with one of her own. She jabs a finger at her knee, grinning at her own audacity. Oh, this is oh, this is how the Numenera should be used, all right. Allegern says sourly, insulting people across time and space. Well, yes. If you don't use it for that, what are you going to use it for? Okay. You catch faint hints of movement at the heart of every sphere in this tower. You lean in and take a closer look. Alright. Okay. Alright, well, that's enough of that. I think we had some level ups from all that silliness. Okay. So Allegern is apparently going to learn something now, which is so unlike him. You are of most use to me as a battery. I shall increase your stat pool. Oh no, I can't do any of these. I can only improve a skill. Okay. Let's see. Better at smashing. That would be helpful. Better in endurance. Better at machine lore. Mostly what we've been doing. We're going to go machine lore, I think. Abilities unlocked. Hard-earned knowledge. Spurred by ink. Choose abilities to learn. 2 points remaining. Mind barrier. Gain +1 intellect pool, +1 armor. Your mind is impenetrable. Tower of Iron Will. Could do that. Adaptation. Gain protect armor bonus. Take resistance +1 here. Hook. Snare a target with a grappling hook and pull them toward you. That'd be cool. We're going to take mind barrier. Because again, he's a good battery. Okay. Oh, do we get more than one? I guess we get more than one. Okay. So, this is a might move. We're going to go adaptation. And mind barrier. Okay, there we go. Yay! Okay. Now it is your turn. Okay. So we could increase her potential as a battery. Give her extra effort. Or improve one of her skills. I mean, the ability to do more things would be nice. Obviously. I mean, you know, tapping into her as a battery would also be helpful, I must admit. I also don't want her to get hurt. So we can either... think we're going to increase the stat pools, I think. Probably. Oh, we can't increase the might. Alright. Actually, coming back here. If we improve this, we can just improve her healing ability. Perception, running. Running's good. Quick fingers. Fine motor control, the ability to manipulate delicate devices. That's going to be useful. Conversations unlocks conversation options at plus 15% bonus difficult tasks. Running. I'm gonna go quick fingers. I think that'll be good. Okay. Well, there we are. That's done. Okay. We're going to go through the entire thesaurus. Looking for ways of moving around. A pair of gauntlets sits on the table. They look as though they're intended to provide real-time analysis and physical monitoring of any human arm placed inside. Very careless of them to just sort of leave it there. On the shelf is a collection of wafer-thin slides containing cross-sectional cuts of living tissue. Some of the flesh still squirms. What is this? What is this thing? This machine collects and collates a variety of samples, preparing a full analysis of their physical, psychic, and dimensional properties. This device appears to store nanospirits and states of energy. It is dusty and unused. Mutant. You gotta be tough to run a pushinish down here, even if your business, not even if your bones are made of. Okay, I gotcha. Pushinish down here, if your bones are made of. Okay, that's the way they're talking. If you pay your fees on time, the thugs don't bother you. No, no. Come see if you get a cough from the air here. It's called blue lung. Don't ask why. What is your business, Spitz? Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Ready.
Month pie. This lissom Jack looks down on his luck, judging from his bare feet and dusty jerkin, but he takes in his surroundings with a hopeful gaze. As you approach, he smiles and throws out his arms in greeting, which reveals the tools of his trade on his belt. How now, helpmeet, got any? He stops as he sees Tiber with you. Tiber, he bellows, good to see you. Last I heard, you and Riss were running from the levees. Slipped him again, eh? This your new crew? Looking for an in-and-out man? I'm free at the moment and ready and able to do some crimes. Two old friends. They gotta have some work for me. Menth, my boy, always joking, he says through gritted teeth. Tiber says, and so loudly. He puts an arm around the young man's neck and snugs him in a little too tight. Someday, someone's going to hear one of your loud jokes and call the watch on you. And me. And no, this is not my new crew. This is my friend, who I'm helping find his way around the pitfalls of our great city. Tiber turns to you. Manth is actually the most honest boy in Sagus Cliffs, aren't you, Manth? He swallows. Why, yes, I am. They don't come much honester than Manth Pa. I'm pretty much just sit around all day thinking of ways I could be more on. Oh, that tattooed fellow isn't the guy I knew? What am I going to learn? Oh. Yes. Tiber's meaty palm covers Manth's mouth. That's fine, lad, that's fine. He smiles at you. You know, Manth has the most dangerous job in Sagus Cliffs. He's a window washer. He hangs over the sea faces of those cliff houses and scrubs away without a care. And if that weren't enough, when he's not working, he's down here in the Underbelly, helping people find their way around. Go on, just ask him. He knows everything about the place. That's right, says Manth as Tiber lifts his hand. Ask me anything. You want to hear about the people who live here? Or maybe the sticker tunnels or the manufactory? Or those crazy dendro her bastards? Actually, yes, I want to hear about all these things. That sounds like a lot of dialogue, however, so I'm going to drink first. Okay, let's start with the general take on the Underbelly. He shrugs. It's the bottom of the ladder. As they say around here, there ain't no more down to go. That's a good thing, right? Means you got nowhere to go but up. A passing thought dims his cheery expression. Unless you drown or get swallowed by the bloom or something. That sounds so pleasant. Tell me about the people. He blows out his cheeks. Well, I know I won't talk about everyone. There's a lot of us here, but I'll hit the highlights, or lowlights, I guess. He starts to count them off on his fingers. There's Folsom, of course. He runs things around here, not officially, mind you, but he's just the sharpest Chagan with the hardest crew is all. Mekella, who sells bits and bobs at her stall. Muke the meatmonger, who sells meat. He pats his chest. Tell Muke I sent you if you pay him a visit. He gives me a shin for each referral. Well, let's see. There's Aligarn, the Eon Priest, who... oh, there you are, Aligarn. I was just about to say wonderful things about you. I'll bet. Go on. Sure. There's Mapper, crazy Carker, who's covered in maps, and, well, I suppose there's Crooked Keek. She's not very interesting, but she looks funny if that's your float. Good lord. What do you know about the sticker tunnels? They dug them all over the place around here. You only see the ends of them since they fill them with loose dirt that only they can dig through. The one thing I do want to remind myself... yeah. Alright. They know it's religion. What about the manufactory? The heart of industry in Sagus Cliffs. People think only the crazy and crooked live down here in Underbelly. But if you want to see the hardest working people in the city, go look into those furnaces. That's real work, that is. Poor saps. What's the point of honest work if it doesn't get you out of this hole? Yep. Reading thoughts. It's helpful. Tell me more about the Dendro or the cannibals. Sometimes I think they just do it so they can be crazier than anybody else. I know they got some kind of mumbo-jumbo reason for eating dead folks, but I think they're just making people squirm, you know? What did you say? I said I thought they were just showing off, eating people so they could say they were crazier than the rest of us. Right, yes. Nutritional value of long pig is much debated. Do you know anything about the murder of Folsom's protege? Now that is some spooky effluvium, and no mistake. A circle of blood on the wall, but all they found of the Vic was a skinless hand. Happened in that alcove on the other side of the structure, if you want to see it. You know where I can find someone named Matkina? The White Death? He whistles. You ain't crazy, are you? He lifts his hands placatingly. Sorry, none of my business. I couldn't tell you where she is, but you might want to talk to Mapper. He's squatting in one of the shanties down here. If there's any place she can hide, he'd know about it. Yeah, I think we're good. Well, that's all the information sucked out of you. You and I said... Right. Yes, that was... amusing. Nope, no way through there.
I'm going.
It's not a passageway. It's just more thugs. You got stones walking up to Folsom. Good for you. Okay. What? What is it? Okay. You're helping the big man. Good luck. Don't screw it up. Oh, great.
Yes.
Tiny dwellings are carved into the rock wall, furnished with reeking bedrolls and bug-infested rags. That's a bonus. Okay.
Got
I'm thankful personally. The big man's never happy. I mean, never. Yeah. Okay, more things. Wait, there's a door there. To Circus Minor. Okay. I'm not gonna head out that way, but... Okay, there we go. Weird. Why did that not come up before? Did we talk to this mutant already? I think we did. But my memory is short. You know, you're dead. What? Shouldn't sleep, things catch up with you. Probably.
I'm ready.
Not much danger of getting much sleep, but you know. You work in the manufactory, I can be your apprentice. I'm not too old, still got teeth. Look. No, that's okay. What he's doing? Creek? I talked to a worker. What do you want? You look like I'm not busy. You know what I'm doing, do you? No idea. Okay, fine. Fine. Guess this is the manufactory. You know, I just gotta shout all the time.
Yes. Now.
Robots! We're supposed to spend today, a bit warm though. Master Artisan. At first glance, this ancient, unmoving construct seems nearly identical to the others in the manufactory. It is only when you move close into the hazy aura of forge light that you see the intricate, no, chaotic whirls of engravings marking every millimeter of its armored frame, and the worker standing behind it is adding even more. You feel a bubbling sensation in your mind. It must be the construct's surface thoughts, but they're too quick and alien for you to make any sense of them. Interesting. Morning, the construct says. It is morning, isn't it? I never pay attention to the time. There's not much use for it down here. Firelight twinkles off the construct's blank eyes. I'm Artisan. What can I do for you? Okay. Can you tell me about your past? To be honest, I don't like thinking about it. All of us went slightly insane during our centuries down here before the humans came. But the other foreman and I don't dwell on things like Master Foreman does. An ember drifts down from the high ceiling between you. If you want the whole story in excruciating detail, Master Foreman's the one to ask. Why do you have your workers decorating your armor? Oh, jeez. Because I want to be the most beautiful construct in Sagus Cliffs, the construct declares. The worker behind it chuckles. Joking, it says. My eyes, well, not eyes, but you know, they failed a long time ago. But my other senses are good, very good. So when my workers want to show me a design, they scratch it out on my plate. I feel it and give them feedback. Not that some of them need it. You're both artist and canvas, eh? Sounds like a good trade for sight. Red tide. Ha! That's lovely and sort of accurate, but if I let this pack of wild artists carry on as they wished, I'd be a pile of sparkly alloy dust in 100 years. Every so often I have to trigger regeneration protocols, wipe the canvas. It falls silent, the forge hisses and pops nearby. Red tide went up. Red tide's been going up a lot down here. To be perfectly honest, these artists don't need me anymore. They've done wondrous work in the city above. But they like asking my opinion. The construct barks a laugh. And I like giving it. They focus on decorative etching, creative use of color and negative space, general aesthetics, and fiddly bits, the construct says promptly. Can you show me something your workers have created? Absolutely. Hold on a second. Let me get a sense of what might appeal to your tastes. Nested sensors whir into life on its shoulders, and beams of light fan over you in the space of a heartbeat. Not so interested in the arts, I see. Larga, get our visitor the contents of Storebox 39. A few minutes later, a stalker hurries out and places a heavy object in your hands. No charge, Artisan says. Call it a gift. Globe of Zrul. The synth globe. It's an oddity. Ooh! An expensive oddity. Excellent. Clearly depicts an unknown world. The more you look at it, the more details you discover, as if the globe somehow enhances and concentrates your vision as you examine it. Nice. Excellent, excellent. Let's see. What's your opinion of your fellow foreman? Well, I don't like to speak poorly of my family. The construct breaks off when the worker behind it snickers. It's true. They're difficult in their own ways, of course, we argue, and here we means Master Foreman and me. But that's to be expected. We've known one another for millennia, I understand. We went through decades of angry silence until, well, we learned to accept each other as we are. It chuckles. Master Foreman has beliefs, exhausting ones that it can't help inflicting on others. And our broken friend wants to die, I think. Puts it a different way, but it does. And though we bicker, I care for them. How couldn't I, after thousands and thousands of years? Oh, Jesus. Okay. Farewell. Go enjoy the sunlight for me. Yay! Wow. Okay. Hundreds of broken Numenera are piled here. The workers are scavenging them for parts if they're useful, or throwing them into the furnace if they're not. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to continue wandering around here for a little bit. I'm waning a little bit here. Let's see what we can do now. Okay, here we go. Supervisor, let's talk to the supervisor for a moment. The fires are running hot, just as the master likes them. Hot as Hades. Light the bracing furnace! That looks like that's going to take energy. The construct looms over you, frozen in mid-step. Its heavy limbs and barreled body have been recently polished by careful hands, but the joints themselves are completely fused. This creature hasn't moved in a long time. It studies you with eyes made of swirling orange fire. This is Master Foreman. As with the other construct, you feel the bubbling sensation in your mind. This construct's thoughts are likewise unreadable. Late for your first shift, Synth Smith, it growls. Grab a station and a hammer and damn well get to work. Get to work. I'm not one of your workers. You're not? Good, because I was going to have you fired at the end of the day anyway. What do you want? Why are you here? Spit it out. Who are you? I am the Master Foreman, the construct declares. Its tone puts you in mind of someone speaking while saluting. The mind and the will behind the city you see today. Why are you so loud? Maybe you haven't noticed, the construct says sourly, but it's noisy down here. A foreman who doesn't shout can't be heard. This is the volume of leadership. The volume of leadership. You can't move, can you? No, and I don't need to, it says, eyes flashing. A passing worker gives you a look for triggering what is apparently a familiar story. Once we foremen were the tools were the tools of the cartographers and their vast web of machine intelligences. Submerged in the song of their will, we worked with thoughtless joy. Its voice is soft, tinged with synthetic awe. Then one day the song fell silent and our bodies were frozen. Our bodies froze where they stand, even now. Some of us lost our faith in those first few centuries, it growls. Some of us thought the cartographers were punishing us, or had abandoned us. Only I saw their absence for what it was. His words grow hoarse. It was a gift of free will. We were their tools no longer. We were our own masters, freed from the chains of thoughtless motion, free to imagine our future. And so we did for millennia. Who are these cartographers? We don't know, it admits. But we know of the most we know of them is their names in the code and the vessels we were building for them that they never claimed. Our creation came at their order, but we have never known their faces, only their song. While the others dithered and wailed, I bent my mind to the future, it continues. I analyzed the work we had done for the cartographers. To my shame, I found flaws in the processes. I removed them. Its eyes burned brighter. For the next cluster of centuries, I studied the vast catalog of known technology and Numenera in my mind and strung them together, creating new inventions for the day when the cartographers returned and reactivated us. He sighs, but that day never came. But humans eventually did. Yes, and though you are flawed and fragile, you made perfect tools, just as we had once been. Your people found us, and the era of my greatest work began. They asked us to help them raise this city until it cast all others in shadow, to cobble their artifacts and their trinkets into grand devices that would power every corner and make them safe from their enemies. And I told them... It coughs as if holding back tears. I told them I had a plan. You see the fruit of our mighty effort all around you. I'm looking for an albino woman named Makina. Have you seen her? Yes, the construct says. She wanted us to repair her temporal manipulation device. Temporal manipulation device, eh? Planned on fiddling around in her past, no doubt. I don't recommend it, but it's not my business if people want to tangle reality. You suddenly feel dizzy. Unaware, the construct carries on. Nothing was wrong with her artifact. Probably meant there was something wrong with her. But again, that's none of my business. You blink swing and open your eyes on a different time. Oh dear. Ah! The underbelly is not yet what it will become. The three foremen are dim shapes and a wavering hemisphere of light. The air is thick with dust. And the great engines beyond are cold and silent. True to its nature, the master foreman is lecturing you. No, the construct says, what matters is that it can be done. Shouldn't doesn't matter. Should is a waste of everyone's time. They knew they could, but did not stop to think if they should. Are you fainting? The master foreman, the present one, says suspiciously. No fainting allowed on the manufactory floor. We can't have workers tripping over you and toppling into forges. We'll miss deadlines. You open your eyes and the memory collapses. I need advice on repairing a crystalline device in the reef. Consultation, eh? Tell you what. Bring me a piece of the device to examine, and I'll count the examination as payment for advice rendered. Deal? All right.
I'll remember that.
It says, scanning the shard. Microfissures saturated with organic fluid. This device of yours is alive. Replacement crystals need to be grown, not made. The construct eyelight swivels from you. Finally, we get a straight answer about this. Swivels from you, leaving you and the shard in the dark. Can't help you more than that. Growing crystals isn't my business, but those ruin diggers in the Order of Truth might be able to tell you more. You'll find them in Government Square, up the ladder to my left. Good luck! Okay, we already talked to them, apparently. But I can't remember what they said. I think they said, find out things for us first, then we might help you. That's about the flavor of these things. Okay. I may have some business for you. You need work done? If it can be built, fixed, or solved, you come to the right place. You need to get to an underground location. Can you make a digging device of some kind? Yes, the Master Foreman declares, glowing eyes, scanning the ceiling. Stalkers, bring me the war machine casing from Z-19, the intelligence nexus from B2, and the scouring claws from my personal collection. It lowers its eyes to you. Now let's talk payment. Make sure you include the cost of repairing the damage done by unleashing an insane war machine with molten claws on the city, the distant artisan calls.
Updated my journal.
Stalkers, stand by, the Master Foreman shouts. Artisan's not wrong, it says in a much lower voice. For once, that might be more construct than you need. Give me a moment. The eyes wink out for several seconds. Engines embedded in the construct's chest roar. Then the eyes reignite. Find me the intact corpse of Asticus. We can reinforce the carapace and recover the spatial memory system if it's not too far gone. Should lead you straight to its lair. And since you're supplying the materials, I'll waive the cost. Great. Will the corpse of an outcast, Asticus, meet your needs? Ah! Okay, I don't need any help from you right now. Fine, are we done here? Let's see. Tell me about the other constructs. Can't spend much more time chatting, it says, but lowers its voice. You've shown an interest in us, and I appreciate that. The truth is that there are no other foremen. Not really. Yes, there are, the Master Artisan bellows cheerfully from across the manufactory. No, there aren't, the Master Foreman shouts. You two always bicker like this. The artisan is a weaker mind, tarnished by our long years in the dark, it says. It does nothing but ridicule my great work. The truth is that we were once a single mind, but when the cartographers left us, our minds settled into different containers. Pools, if you will. And while theirs grew stagnant and self-indulgent, mine remained clean, untainted, pure. Ignoring the snort from the distant artisan, the Master Foreman continues. While the years poured past, I felt the slow ruin of the city, Let's try that again. I felt the slow ruin of the city the cartographers had left behind it. It haunted me, and so I vowed to undo the damage that time had done. Okay. I notice you haven't spoken much about the third foreman, the one with no legs. Ha! There's a reason for that. I focus my intellect on the design of everything from useful devices to structures that will last 1,000 generations. It sniffs. The Master Artisan contributes at least, even if it prefers focusing on delicately etched flowers, base aesthetics. And a good thing, too, calls Artisan. Otherwise, Sagus would lack a stack of unpolished metal cubes. Beauty is just as important as function, if not more so. So I've heard, the construct mutters, but beauty doesn't help keep a city safe, or structurally sound. Okay. Coming to Underbelly, the red tide comes way up. At first, the third one in our little group helped with the great endeavor. Our workers scavenged pipes from the ruins beneath the city, harnessed the power in the cartographer vessels, and redirected it through Sagus Cliffs. But in the centuries since, the other foreman has grown doubtful. Not useful doubt, mind you, not the kind that leads to more efficient designs and processes. No, the other foreman has existential doubt. It wonders why we are alive, as if we actually are. and it has become obsessed with the idea of producing offspring to the point of dismantling itself to do so. He snorts. Sentimental drivel bordering on perversion. Yeah. I'm pretty handy with machines. Want me to try repairing you? Keep your hands off me! The construct snaps. If I want to be repaired to defy the will of the cartographers, I would have had your ancestors do it centuries ago. Have some sense! Okay. Well, yes, stay clear of the forge. Just want to try one thing, and I saved before I did it. Will the corpse of an outcast Stickus meet your needs? No, the vermin only cast out inferior strains. This corpse of yours probably has weak claws. Frail chitin. I can't spare the fetchers for inferior specimens. Okay. Alright, good to know. Okay. But it's so beautiful. This ancient ship is embedded in the rock, and only its lower portion is visible here. The workers are using its roaring engines as a smelting furnace. Glorious. Okay. You're looking for work here? I hope you like heat, loud noise, and a pissy metal boss. A pissy metal boss, yeah. I'm getting that impression. Okay. Energies from this massive engine are channeled into metal pipes sent below ground and distributed throughout the underbelly. Alright. Where are we? We're down here. That's going to lead to Government Square. That'd be a ladder. Okay. Michaela, need to visit them. Because I got suspicions. The eyesmiths need more ore. Tarnish. Apparently we're going to be talking to someone again. Ever have that thing where you can't remember? I've got that. Yeah. No, I think I just saved that. We're going to talk to Tarnish. The elderly man stares vacantly at a distant wall, muttering under his breath. His hands flex on the air, twisting and tweaking, as if he is repairing a machine only he can see. He jumps when you draw in a breath to speak. Yes, what? He says, his eyes rove past you, halt, then return to focus on your face with some effort. Ain't you a quiet one? He says cheerfully. The underforeman makes more noise than you. We should hang chimes from your ears to keep you from surprising people. What do you need? What's a foreman? Because I'm speaking to you in the wrong order, apparently. Well, they are, he says, flapping his hand about the cavernous foundry. The constructs. Is that like robots? Yes. They're frozen in their tracks, and they run this place together. What do you do here? I take care of my master, he says simply. The underforeman. There used to be more of us when he was making things, but when he lost interest, the master foreman, he jerks a yellowed thumb at the construct at the center of the chamber. Hired all of them. Offered them more. Tarnish spits on the ground. Happened a while back, but I don't forget a slight. Master foreman. Are you sure he doesn't mean fired them all? I don't know. He's a good foreman, maybe the best. If he didn't have his this fool idea in his head. How long have you worked with the foreman? Couldn't say, he says, his brow furrows. On my first day, I had already met my wife, but she was still married to, what's his name, with the fishhook tattoo. And I hadn't lost the finger and grown it back yet, so... yeah, that'll do it. He peers at the ceiling, mouth working. 70 years, give or take. I should retire, but there'd be no one left to mind him if I left. What would I do with myself anyway? Why do you keep calling your master he? I've worked for him a long time. I guess I stopped seeing him as a thing and more like a him. Tarnish shrugs. All of us have our little ways, even him. Okay. Guess we're gonna talk to another robot. I'll interact with that shiny thing in a little bit. Oh, it's a ladder. Crippled foreman. Segments of this bisected construct's legs lie scattered around it. Someone has painstakingly altered these pieces, giving them small limbs and tiny metallic heads. What? Oh, good lord, look at them. Look at them. Nevertheless, they aren't moving, the larger constructs. Turquoise eyes flicker out of sync with each other as they turn towards you. As with the other construct, you feel the bubbling sensation in your mind. This construct's thoughts are likewise unreadable. But I get a feeling they're going to say all of them out loud. I do not understand. It says, the voice emerging from the grill around its eyes is soft as though you were hearing it from far away. Don't they want to live? The viaducts are open. The commands are received, and yet... Its eyelights flutter. Every time I give my children life, they die. You can't have children, you're a machine. These tiny things are your children? Not anymore, it says. Now they are inanimate and lifeless. Their adaptive personalities have been lost. I do not understand why they are dying. I have given the subject of procreation a great deal of thought over the last century, and there are no errors in my calculations. I'm going slightly Hal here. Everything is operating perfectly. My assistant Tarnish built my children's bodies to my precise specifications. Their intelligence reservoirs are shielded against permanent loss. Its eyes look away from yours as if it is embarrassed. And I want them to live. That should be enough. You know, wanting isn't enough. That's ridiculous. Let me examine them. I might be able to help. It does not protest, so you examine the motionless constructs on the ground in front of the foreman. From what you can understand, the technology here, the foreman is correct. These little constructs should be working, but they aren't. It may be possible that the flaw is not in them. You share this information with the foreman. I agree, it says, and I believe a new direction has presented itself.
I'll remember that.
Quests! My children need more energy to live. But my construction prevents me from transfers above a certain threshold, and for good reason. Its pupils rotate, contracting. Energy transfers above a certain percentage would lead to a chain of ruptures in my intelligence rings. I would die. Its voice mesh clicks. Help me force myself to make this transfer, for I cannot do it myself. Click. Help me give life to my children. I don't want to. I don't want to kill the robot. Will you help me? The foreman says. The words are almost buried beneath a crackling surge of static. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this character perhaps would, but I don't wanna. I don't like robots dying. It's a thing that I have. I don't want to help you kill yourself. Very well, it says. If you change your mind, my assistant Tarnish may have some ideas on how to proceed. Can I examine you? Yes, it says, Tarnish, open my preservation hatches and viaduct shields, please. The elderly workman shuffles over and does as he's asked. Alligern steps up beside you and gives a low whistle. Not sure I understand everything I'm looking at, but I'll tell you this. Killing this construct's not a job for one person. If you decide to do it at once, I'll lend a hand. You've never seen technology like this. Wires pass through glass tubes threaded with pale light and star-speckled darkness. You glance over at Tarnish. He's looking away, arms crossed as though unwilling to watch a stranger tinker with his master. I mean, if nothing else, what's going to happen to Tarnish, right? Machinery lore. From what you can see, the foreman's trouble is not due to his physical body. Something must be wrong with the intelligence itself. The foreman's mind. Ah! The vision falls on you like a wave swallowing a swimmer. You approach this foreman, still possessed of its legs, and open the same hatches that Tarnish did. I know it looks complex, the foreman says, but the viaducts are the simplest part. The machine spirit, me that is trickier. Even I don't fully understand it. It laughs. Me. The vision fades, leaving you standing up before the ruins of that once cheerful construct again. We're not going to do that yet. Why do you want children? Need, the construct says, not want. Its pupils study the distant ceiling. When I was born, I began working in seconds. I did this until our creators shut down our bodies. In the millennia since, I have focused on designing the infrastructure beneath the other foreman's work, and instructing workers on how to execute on these designs. Its pupils fall back to you. Eventually, I realized I was unhappy. Again, working in seconds. Okay. Designing the infrastructure beneath the other foreman's work. Huh. From time to time, my workers brought their children to the manufactory, holding their small hands, explaining the mysteries of this place to them. Its pupils flicker off. It began as a thought, what would I teach my own children? To be curious, to explore, to ask foolish questions, to see the world above that we three have never seen. The foreman's pupils reappear. And then when I thought these things, I saw the shape of my children outlined by daylight. They already existed. You seem very dispassionate about your failures to create children. Yes. I have been through 27 iterations of birth. With each attempt, more of my non-essential personality and intelligence rings rupture. The foreman's eyes dim. Know that these small bodies are only bodies. 27 versions of my children have lived and died within them. Know that they lived long enough for me to understand their personalities and name them before they were purged, lost. A soft whirring issues from the mesh around the foreman's flickering eyes. Can you tell me about how you and the other foreman came to be like this? I will not, the foreman says calmly. It is not an era I wish to revisit. Speak with the master foreman instead. Okay, well, we did that. Why don't you want to talk about your past? Because the master foreman revels in the past and will be happy to share it with you. I do not, and would not. Would not. Before we go here, I do want to talk to this dude again, because it's going to affect him rather deeply if we do this. Find you before you can sneak up on me again, he says, flashing his guns. What do you need? How do you feel about your master's goal? It's a fine thing to want children, he says, blinking rapidly. Wish I'd had him myself. Too late now, of course. No ladies knocking down my door, he cackles. Of course, when people have children, it doesn't come at the cost of their lives, most of the time. And that life belongs to a creature that's older than the oceans. It's a shame and a waste, but he wants what he wants. He always has. Doesn't mean I won't miss him. What will I do if he goes? I know it's selfish, but... I guess take care of the children if they're going to be around. Keep them operating. It's lovely gold. Don't think it's worth his life, though. I understand. How can I give the foreman's life to its children? Tarnish says, his eyes dart to yours, searching. He sighs heavily. I know you're trying to do good, he says, so I'll tell you what to know. Like he wants, but I wish you'd leave this alone. He clasps your shoulder, speaking into your ear in a low whisper. He's right that killing himself is the only way. His body ain't the problem. It's something in the way his markers made his mind and spirit. He keeps reclaiming the energy he gives the children. Ah! Maybe it ain't my place to keep him from what he wants. Damn waste, though.
Making a note.
Now, releasing all the energy at once is possible. But it ain't easy. You might try talking to the Order of Truth before you get started. Might be they have some extra tools that'll help you on your way. Okay. Probably should do that. Farewell. I could just nip up the ladder and chat with them. I know, it's euthanasia. Set of floating rungs rises from the floor, leading up to a more conventional ladder built into the side of the ancient ship. The ladder disappears into darkness above. So that goes up to Government Square. That goes to the Dendro Her Chapel, which is something we're going to need to visit. It's the Stika incursion. We'll need to go and have a nice little chat with them. Michaela. That's someone we need to talk to. I think that's someone we need to talk to. I'm not sure.
Let's go.
I'll go ahead and head up there real quick. Nip up there. And see if we can have a little chat with the Order once again real quick. They're like right over there. So, I have questions. Not yet. There we go. The responsible answer is no, but no one needs me to sign anything right now, so yes, I do have time. One of the foremen is trying to create offspring. I was told the Order of Truth could help. Not the Master Foreman, I hope, he says with a disbelieving laugh. One of him, it is more than enough. It sounds like something that would be of interest to Snurf quite a bit, he says. And when you head back to the Underbelly, tell Master Artisan I said hello. Who am I talking to about the residence chamber? Salamari. Okay. And I think I'm supposed to do something for Salamari before anything else happens. Supposed to talk to Snurf about. Welcome back, fellow sentient. May I assist you with something? One of the foremen's trying to transfer energy into his children, but they keep dying. You think you can help? Absolutely, the visitant says, then pauses. I must regretfully ask for a small payment of 50 shins to cover my expenses, however. I am a guest here and not an Eon priest. The city does not fund my research. Oh, and now that we're talking about money. There you go. Excellent, the visitant says. Now let me ask a few questions about the situation. Do try to be accurate, or the device I craft will be less effective. First of all, as you know, this is an unusual case. Machine intelligences are rarely driven to create offspring. Why does the foreman wish to have children? It believes the children already exist and are waiting to be born. Aha, predestined existence, it says, recording your answer. An uncommon philosophy, but not unheard of. It also raises interesting questions about the reason for the intelligence's infertility. Why can't it create offspring if it so obviously wants them? I have no idea what I made this guy sound like the last time, so... On to the second question. Hey! Greetings, Jim! Yes, we're just coming to the tail end of a bit of Tides of Numenera. Just playing around with it. At least tail end for today. and we're looking at helping a robot kind of commit seppuku and also create children at the same time. It's a weird thing, but then again, so is the ninth world. On to the second question, the visitant says. Has it had any success transferring its energy to its children? How long does it take the children to expire? That's an excellent question. I'm trying to remember if they said how long it took. That's going to be in a different conversation. Has it had any success in transferring its energy to its children? How long does it take the children to expire? I mean, yeah, he said that they're around long enough for him to name them and find out about their personalities. So, almost immediately as possible. That might be what he meant. I mean, how long does that process take, right? Not sure. I see. All right, unknown period of time. Final question. How are the foreman's intelligences stored? Void arrays, shielded ring coils, or some other method? I think it's ring coils. I think that's what they said. That would make sense from what I've heard of their behavior, Snurf says, making a final note. At any rate, I shall get to work. This should not take long.
Making a note.
Man, I hope I got those answers right. Here you are, Snurf says, laying a heavy cylinder on the table with a magnetic clink. In short, there is nothing wrong with the foreman's body, and it wants to have children. Therefore, something in the intelligence's governing spirit, the sub-intelligence, if you will, must be blocking the energy transfer. The visitant pats the cylinder. Attaching this device to the foreman should disable the sub-intelligence's defenses. Good luck. Where are you from again? No. All right. Procreative surge turbine. It's a heavy metallic cylinder bristling with tubes and wires, warm smoky lights, pulses from within. It appears to be an energy transfer device tuned for a very specific purpose. Yeah. You can say that again. All right. Oh, that's what we came for. Forget the favor we have to do for Salamari before she'll help us with the chamber. It's been a while. Oh, that's right. No, I know. I remember what I was supposed to do. Ha
Go.
Supposed to go and look at that place down on the reef. The more effort you put into hiding, the harder it will be for enemies to find you when they search. I know, right? It's, you know, there comes a time when you have to decide if you're going to make use of your procreative turbine or not. And just, you know, it's different for everybody, but, you know, they have to make that choice. It's vitally important. It's a very personal choice, but, you know, it's entirely up to you. Let's see. The thing that I was looking for, let's see, the new things are circles in red, murders in the underbelly. Oh, that's right. That's what they told me. There's more information about that. Fulls suspects the involvement of Makina. Soul called White Death was an assassin of some repute. He asked me to question her. Isn't sure where she is. And we inspect some of the protege's murder. The body was nowhere to be found. Only a single layered hand. Strange. Okay. Woman's brood. Help the crippled foreman transfer its life force into its children. Bypass safety measures. Maybe some other way to... Alternatively, there might be some other way to resolve this situation. Really? Tarnish, a human worker and friend of the crippled foreman, admitted he doesn't want the foreman to give up its life. See if I can use this fact to change the foreman's mind. Oh, okay. Well, it's good. It's good that you've still got, you know, you didn't have to fire all the workers, that the manufacturing is still working. You know, it's important. It's important. You gotta have the you know, the products available should they be necessary. Snurf is a guest researcher at the Order of Truth, thinks it can solve the crippled foreman's problem. I'll have to pay Snurf a fee, though. I acquired a procreative surge turbine from Snurf at the Order of Truth. It should facilitate the transfer of the energy from the crippled foreman to its offspring. Huh. Interesting. Those were the only two that had new stuff on them. Yes, yes. Okay, good. Back down we go.
Yes. Now.
Yes. We just pretend. Pretend they're real. Falling down. The, you know, you use whatever's there. All right. Ah, yes. Okay. Underbelly euthanasia. Yes, we'll call it that. Okay. No, not yet. We're good. Nope, not uncomfortable yet, but it's amusing. Now, for anyone who's watching this at a later time and wondering who I'm talking to Indiana Jim, who's just recently returned to podcasting. Congratulations, by the way. I believe you just go and Google The Adventures of Indiana Jim, and you can find his various commentary on all manner of geekdom.
Yes. Now.
Let's see here. You have brought a device from the Order of Truth, the foreman says at last. What is its purpose? All you need to know is that it should work. So you should bypass the part of you that is preventing you from creating offspring. Okay. Very well, the construct says. I am ready. See, we went to the trouble, and we paid for it. But now we have this dialogue option. So we can use lore machinery and lore natural to bypass the foreman's mind and pass its life to its children. We can try to persuade it not to do it. I'm going to see if we can. You are better at that than I think. You too are better at that. No, you're not. Okay. Do we really want to drain your life essence for that? No. See, the thing is, if we do this, then that will sort of destroy the what we were planning to do in the first place. Maybe we'll see. Let's actually. I do want to see this though. This is not online. This is a game that I picked it up from GOG. I think it's on both GOG and Steam. It's a sequel to it's a spiritual sequel to Torment, which was a D&D game that they came out with a while back. This uses instead of Planescape, which Monty Cook had worked on, it uses Numenera, which Monty Cook also worked on. Created, I should say. Worked on. He did work on it, but this was after creating it. And so there we are. 85 is pretty good. Okay. Success. You hear a faint, rhythmic clanking as though gears come loose in a distant ancient clock. He has served me more than well, the construct says at last, but softly. And he is not young. A sigh rattles from the mesh around its eyes. Perhaps I will wait. Run more tests. I have nothing but time. So we gained XP for that. Now we have this device that we just paid 50 shins for. So now I gotta figure that out. Can I sell it? No. Okay, we'll need to think about that and perhaps do some creative editing later. However, Michaela, that is probably not who I thought it was. It was someone we wanted to speak to possibly later. But yes, we've now done a thing where we have convinced it not to worry about it for now. He clasps your hands in his cold ones. Thanks for convincing my master not to go through with it, he whispers. He won't let this go, of course, and maybe there ain't a way to give his children life without killing him. But maybe this will keep him from doing it until long after I'm gone. Okay. So that's one possible ending. However, to that particular quest, I think I would like to see the other one. I will keep that saved there in case there's a desire to double back. But I paid 50 shins, damn it. We're going to use the turbine. We already have an 85% chance. That's good. Let's just check to make sure. Oh, you have a 95% chance just natively. Let's use that. Alligern. Success. We gained the same amount of XP. The turbine hums into life. The fans within whirl, singing a high, trembling note, and cold energy pours through the air like blood from a wound, flooding into the motionless children. One by one, their tiny eyes flicker to life. One by one, the foreman's eyes go out. Its voice mesh rattles as if it's going to speak. Go, the construct croaks. Explore. And it falls silent. The children watch the death of their parent with wide, glowing eyes. He'd want me to thank you, the old man says hoarsely, but I ain't. You knew him all of 10 minutes. Known him my entire life, I have. You came and took him from me. Without a look at his master's children, Tarnish sets off into the dark. Some of the little constructs wander in circles, chirping to themselves. One of them is already making for the exit, and one is motionless, stillborn. Keep them all! Maybe they can use it as ciphers and power sources. Take the dead one, let the others go free. Leave the dead one, let the others go free. I will take the dead one. Ah, stillborn construct. You carefully pick up the stillborn construct, cradling it. The rest of the foreman's children chase each other for a few moments longer, before following the one heading for the exit. Interesting. This inert little figure of metal and synth was cobbled together from parts of the crippled foreman, making it one of the construct's children. With your help, the foreman transferred some of its energy into the little creature, but for some reason it never came to life. It's an oddity, which means we can't really do as much with it, but it's worth 114, so it'll be I'll make my money back. Because of course that's all that's important, right? Interesting. Okay. Alligern grunts. That was a good thing you did, kid. Thank you. I think that was probably more the that choice I think gave us more to work with here, and also was more interesting to me. And Tiber needs to level up. But I think we're going to do that next time, probably. I think... Very well, let me take a look here. I'm going to forget. So let's just... Come on. Where is it? Okay, he is good at the talking. Let's see, we can increase his stat pools, his edge, his effort, or his skills. Once again, he is most useful as these companions are most useful as batteries, so let's increase his stat pools. Up your speed goes. I mean, I do use his intellect, though, so we're going to up his intellect as well. There we go. Okay. There we are. There we have it. All right. There we are. Okay. And back to me. Well, folks, that is going to be it for this one right now. I'm very much looking forward to getting back to this, though, next week and taking a look and sort of seeing what else we find in the Underbelly, and you know, looking and seeing what happens with the nest of Stika, and if we can find Makina down there. It's going to be very interesting. I do like this game quite a bit, and the storyline is awesome. There is a crap load of reading, but of course that doesn't bother me too much. It's the out loud just bothers the lung demons a little bit this week, but we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully they'll be less numerous next week. What's happening this weekend? So in the morning, tomorrow morning, once again, I'm continuing with We Happy Few. I once again get to go nice and psychedelic, and that'll be a lot of fun tomorrow morning. And then it is an off week for Colder Runs of Last Life. That's coming back in about a week from tomorrow, hopefully. On Sunday, we're going to do another one-shot of The Quiet Year, which it's a tabletop game about it's a bit of a world-building thing. It's sort of a post-apocalyptic world-building, sort of community-building game, and different weird things happen to this this small civilization for a year of relative peace, and it'll be interesting to look at. It's map drawing also. We draw stuff on a map. And it'll be fun. We've picked out the setting we're going to be using, and this one's going to be subterranean. So I think it's going to be interesting to kind of see what happens with that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking at then, and so I think the next stream I'm doing after that is a week from today. So we will continue with this and keep exploring the Underbelly. So I think that's about it. I did not switch to the other view, strangely enough. You see, normally when we get to this point, I do this. Hi! But I've said pretty much everything I need to say, so that'll be about it for right now. Take care, folks, and I shall see you all of a sudden.